Let's get right to it. So I'm in a social group, like maybe six of them. And this particular social group is with all women, and we're all walks of life. So we have some that's married, some that's in polygamous relationships, some that's woman on woman, some that's two women, two men, some that's like got a variety of them, some that's single, some that's with married men, some that's with married women, right? But they're all women. So we talk about these really adverse subjects. And I'm not going to lie, it's quite disturbing, but it's entertaining because I don't come from like a really diverse background when it comes to love and marriage and commitment and just being with someone. So seeing everybody's outlook on it blows my mind. So it's this one particular group of women who believe in polygamy. And so that's when, you have like five wives to a husband. And as long as he can take care of all of the wives, it's cool to have, right? I don't know if they can be legally married, but they're in a commitment and they call it marriage. And these women don't mind sharing their man. They don't mind sleeping all in one bed. They don't mind taking a turn. They don't mind having sets of kids for this man. And I thought about that and I said, that's the way this world is today. That's the way it is today. Everybody is accepting the fact that it's a 10 to 1 ratio on a man, right? So you got 10 women that's okay with dating the same man. That's this day and age, 2020. It's cool with most women to date one man. What you think about that? Like, I don't know if I'm just old fashioned, but what is the purpose of commitment if it's not two people? I don't understand that analogy, and it's entertaining to see because these women are not competing. They like, oh yeah, he got her Monday through Wednesday, and then he got me Thursday through Sunday. I'm just like, wow. So when she had BV, you got BV, and that's what my brain go. I go straight into STI mode. It's, I'm straight. I'm straight. I just, I just can't. I just can't. I just don't believe that one human being has enough love for that many people. I need all of it. I need all or nothing, right? I need all the respect. I need all of the eye contact. I need all of that. I can't. I can't. I can't share that. I'm not going to share that. And then we have some of the older women in there. They call cougars. Like I'm 45, right? So somebody in their 20s and 30s will call me a cougar. So the cougars are the ones that date the younger guys. You got them. What you think about women that's 40 and up dating somebody 30 and under? I'll tell you what I think. I think that if it's for fun purposes, dating, hanging out, maybe a little bit of physical intimacy, it might be something you can consider, but I'm talking about settling down the long run, helping you raise them kids that's close to their age, might not work out too well for you. Having a conversation that he can really get with, like maybe bills and just dealing with certain people in the family, or maybe controlling his temper, or maybe just the experiences in life that you've already experienced as a seasoned woman. I don't know how much patience you'll have for that. When I was in my early 20s, I dated a guy 6 years younger than me, and it was terrible. And it could be because back then I'm only 26, and then he's just about to enter his 20s. It was terrible. Like, we had a disconnect in music, we had a disconnect in friends, it was a disconnect in what I believed, a parent should be, because he had no kids and I had Delonte at the time. Delonte was like maybe almost one. It was terrible, but the up was he kept me laughing. He had all the energy in the world. He had a lot of different ideas. He wasn't boring. You know, he wasn't set in his ways. He wasn't that much of a liar because the men our age, they're seasoned with it, baby. They are the master manipulators. Some, I'm not going to say all because I have met some amazing men on my journey. But, you know, this young guy that I dated, I could have never settled down with him. Like his whole outlook on relationships was different than mine. You know, I was in 26, ready to pretty much find a husband, right? I was ready for my king to come. He was like a little prince, a little prince. So I had my experience with my young guy, and I didn't like it. The physical intimacy, it was all right, but he's a kid. You know, he got a long way to go. So how I feel about older women dating younger men, unless he is like on that tip, like ready for what you ready for, I would not condone it. Unless he's experienced, like dated older women, been around older women all his life, you know, mature in those areas, not playing video games all day, and not, that's not to say just young people do that, but that's a young person's thing. You got to admit it's a young person's thing. Somebody older in your age range is focused on working, getting these kids together, hopefully. Okay, so that's how I feel about that. The polygamy lifestyle, like I said, I'm not with it at all. My outlook on love altogether is I believe in love. I believe in true love, genuine love. And I believe in what love feels like. Love feels like peace. Love feels like protection. Love feels like loyalty. Love feels like respect. Love feels happy. It feels happy. It gives you them butterflies, right? Love is patient. Love is understanding. Love is we can do it again and again and again until we get it right. Love is not abuse. Love is not disloyalty. Love is not stress. Love is not paranoia, where I got to be paranoid when you come, when you go, when you leave, while you're here. Love is not stalking. It's none of that. That's not love. That's dysfunction. And, you know, God allows people to come in and out of our lives for a reason. Sometimes it's a lesson. Most times it's a blessing. Always follow your first mind. I had a situation where somebody in my family came into my life, and my first mind was, why? That was the first thought. Why? Right? So I allowed them to come into my life, open arms, right? This is a true story. And I hope this blesses you, and I hope this helps somebody to understand people's purpose in their life. So I allowed them to come in with open arms, even though my first thought was what? Why? They came in and I poured myself into them. I allowed them to pour themselves into me. After so long, I started to question myself again. What is your purpose? Like, why? What's the purpose? Are you here for? What are you here for, right? Then God allowed them to exit my life. I didn't question it, didn't chase it. And to this day, my thing is still, why? Why were you here? What was your purpose? Why did you come, right? And the only thing I could think of is in me allowing that person into my life, it taught me a lesson. The lesson was never close the door on things just because you're not familiar with it, right? Never close your door. Never do your heart like this. Because if you do your heart like this, you're not allowing love to grow, right? So you keep your heart open so love can grow. Always do that, because you never know what comes out of that. You know, there's layers, people, things, finances comes out of opening up your heart. Blessings, growth, right? Inheritance comes out of that. So never stop that. Never block your blessings on who you allow in and out. But also, when it's time to let them go, let them go. So the lesson was, don't block your blessing. Allow room for growth. And the blessing was that I was obedient to that. So now I have experiences in relationships, friendships, right? I experienced something that I never would have been able to experience had I not let this lesson in to teach me something, right? You have to be teachable. As long as you live for the rest of your life, keep your heart open for lessons. As long as you live, it's a teachable moment. I thought about when I was a kid, I prayed. I had a prayer, a prayer. 6 years old, I can remember this prayer. And fast forward up until my later years as an adult, over 40, that prayer at 6 years old came to me, right? It was a blessing. My prayer was answered. That was a blessing. But the lesson was, just because God gives it to you, it doesn't mean, I don't want to say it's here to stay or it wasn't meant for you, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be what you wanted it to be. Put it like that. Just because God gives it to you, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be what you wanted it to be, right? Because I come in peace. I'm a peaceful, fun, loving person. And I just don't dwell well around dysfunction or messiness or just, you got to be willing to be healed to mess with me. Like, you got to be willing to be free of bondage, of the things that you suffer with. You got to be willing to be free of it. That means if you are low self-esteem, you got to be willing to find ways to get yourself out of that funk, or our energy is going to clash. And I don't have the tolerance or the patience for it. Pity parties, accusations, self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have the temperance for that. Like, I'm a people person. I'm a communicator. I'm a socialite. I'm a counselor. I'm just everything that I can be to a person that's in my circle. Everything that I can be to you. A listening ear, a confidant, everything. But when I feel like you are not genuine to that, or that you are taking advantage of that, or not appreciating what you have in me, I have to look at that like a lesson and learn from it. Because again, you're not for everybody, right? So I made a vow to myself. I am going to keep myself open to new opportunities and to new, people coming and going into my life, but I'm not willing to compromise what I stand for or my purpose in life, right? Before my father died, he started bringing up all of these different relatives that he would like for me to get to know. All of them, down south where he's originally from. And my father is a family person. He loves his family. He brags on his family. He used to brag on them. And he would be like, oh, your cousin such and such, and I want you to get to know such and such can't wait to meet you. And I would be like, why? Like, I'm 45. What are we going to talk about? But, he saw the picture as, these are your blood relatives. This is a part of your ancestry. This is a part of who you are. Your kids need to know them. So I honor that, and I will allow myself to be open to my family, my family's family, but I won't compromise myself for that. I think a lot of times we compromise ourselves, but I think that we need to, number one, rest assured in who we are. If we have standards, what we stand for. If we have love with your whole heart. Be respectful to people. Know your purpose in their life. Because as I said, with the situation that I had opened up my heart to, I still don't know. I still don't know the purpose, but I'm taking it as a lesson learned, right? So always know your place in life and always know who, what, why, when, and where that person is going to stand in your life when you open the door to them. But always keep your heart open. Okay? Until next time, bye.